Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to Copper Top Productions. In this week's video, I got bored through the week and put the engine on the stand, and now we're just going to work on it. Yep. So, as you can see in the last video, last few videos, I'm actually 4 videos ahead at the moment. I've just been really lazy with editing and putting them up, sorry about that. I'm trying to improve, but it's kind of fucking cheap for work. We had the meet on, I had some other things going on, and then last weekend I just didn't end up filming. It's currently 8 AM, I want to get the engine ready to go in, and then maybe next week try and get them together. Probably not next week actually, because I have to wait for the clutch to arrive. But other than that, we should be pretty well good. I've got all the gaskets here to completely redo all the gaskets. I've got 3 turbos there, 2 of which to choose from. The big one's really just there because it looks cool. And then the gearbox that came out of Alyssa's car, which I'm not too sure if I want to put in. I've got 2 of these gearboxes, and so my choice is this. I can sell both of them for as much as I can get, maybe upwards of 1,500 for both-ish. And then save up a bit more, or just chuck some more money at the problem and get a DET box, which means that I probably won't have to take it out within the next 12 months when I blow it up from drifting. And it'll prolong the life and longevity of the car and the build. So yeah, what we're going to be doing today, definitely taking the exhaust manifold off, lining up the other one. I've got 2 to choose from, either a stock one, which is low mount, or a 6 boost rip-off version, which is an X-Force one. So it holds the turbo up nice and high, which looks cool, but I don't know what the condition of it's like, and realistically I don't know how reliable and/or flat the surface is going to be to make with the engine to get good compression, to get good spoolie boy, to get good compression, to get good boost, to do good skids. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to be pulling that off, pulling the intake off. I've got an entire another intake with turbo injectors there ready to go in, and I've got all the gaskets to completely rebuild that essentially. So we're basically looking at tearing this down to a long block today and then rebuilding it back up to essentially where it's at, but with a turbo exhaust manifold and turbo injectors. Fingers crossed it goes smoothly and off without a hinge, and it should be a pretty cool video, so stay tuned. Let me just give this a little scooch over that way. Where's the end of the wall? Nope, there it is. That'll do. Sick. Essentially the first thing I'll be doing, now that the engine's actually on the stand, I didn't film that because it was boring as fuck and it was pointless. Let's take the exhaust manifold off. I would usually put music over parts like this in the video, but honestly the music is getting so repetitive in my videos, and I'm really kind of sick of editing those little clips. It's like it's cool if we're washing a car or something like that and it's actually something interesting, but half the time it's not something interesting. It's just me doing work and not wanting to talk and play music in the background that I would get copyright strike for if I included in my videos. So I take out the audio and I put music in over it, but like I just said, kind of getting sick of doing those, and I don't mind talking to the camera while I work on the car and filling you guys in on what we're going through and what I'm doing in the process, which might be more interesting. I don't know, let me know in the comments. Yeah, these were like insane loose, especially for exhaust bolts, like damn. Damn! Heavy as fuck. So this right here is the X-Force one I was talking about earlier. Like I said, I don't know if I'll actually be using it. I probably won't. If anything, if I was to use a top mount, I'd just put the effort in and get a 6 boost. But in the meantime, I'm going to put this on because I want to see what the high mount turbo looks like on it, and it'll be cool for a thumbnail. So don't hate me for clickbaiting you onto this video. Yeah, big boy. Swap done. She do look kind of mean though, like I'm not gonna lie. This is probably really bad because it's going to make me really want to do a high mount on it. Alrighty, so before pulling anything else off the engine, in other words the intake side, I'm going to go through and have a gaze at this intake manifold that I've got to put on in replace of it. I figure if I'm going to use that one, why would I take that off and have two laying around, then have one laying around, rebuild it and just swap them over. Alrighty. Well, these are all the gaskets we have at the moment. That's obviously exhaust manifold gasket, turbo gasket, other turbo gaskets. This was just a spare. This is the one I actually got. This has got everything I need in it to rebuild one of the stock turbos, which is what I intend to do after watching a couple more videos on YouTube of how to do it so I don't fuck it up. And this is the one we're using now to do the intake manifold. So we don't need these can go to the side. Not gonna lie, this is the second time I've done this scene. The first time it pissed out fuel all over me because somehow it still had petrol on the lines. Righto. Let's get this thing off. Definitely gonna have to blow this out with the air compressor afterwards, just to make sure that there's no leftover shit in it anywhere that's gonna get blown into the engine or sucked into the engine. Well, that's clean enough. Really, the whole point is just to get it smooth enough and clean enough that it contacts well. I'll go over it with probably some form of degreaser and or cleaner just to make sure that I get all the grease and grime off of it. And then focus on the other piece. This other gasket on here is rubber, so that'll come off pretty easy. It doesn't really look like it needs replacing, but I've got a spare one there anyway, so I might as well use it. Yep. Really nothing wrong with that one. Now I'll use a new one. Alrighty, so I just blew out the intake manifold. It's all cleaned up, ready to be put back together. I wasn't originally going to take off this or the one on the engine until I was ready to put that one on. However, I've found that there's a few things that's missing from this one, so I'm going to need to pull those parts and put them on that one. The main reason I'd want to just go with this one rather than just putting the injectors in that is because I'd rather not fuck around pulling injectors out and all that sort of stuff. I'll just swap them over. It will be easier, although it sounds like a little bit more of a pain in the ass. Off, boy. She's pretty clean. Surprisingly very clean. I have no fucking idea what that was. Alrighty, so we're getting through it slowly. Everything that was on this one is now on this one. All the important things like hose holding things and clamps and blah 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 blah. The wiring loom's still there. I'm not sure if I'm able to use that wiring loom on the new, on the turbo injectors or not. I mean, they plug in, but they're a different color. I don't know if it's, I don't know, I'll look into it. I'm guessing they are. It can't be that much different. So what I'll be doing is taking these off, plopping them on there. That's quite literally the last thing. Then I'll mate it together and yeah, go from there. First, let's put a gasket on. Let's put that on. Let's get it together. In case you can't tell, it's been a little bit of a break since the last clip. I got sick of my hair annoying me, and I went down and got a haircut because I was, well, sick of my hair annoying me. So we're back now doing something that actually gives me happiness and a little bit of joy. Fucking around with cars. Good fun. Go over and wipe it with the isopropyl, go over and wipe it with the dry part of the towel because the isopropyl alcohol will then also dissolve and or eat away at the gasket that I'm putting on, and I don't really want that to happen. Pretty gasket sits on there nicely. Okay, so these bolts all have to be torqued down to, oh, it does already have one on. Already have to be torqued down to a specific spec. So I'm going to get a torque wrench. Rightio, well, it's the next day now. I ended up getting carried away last night and didn't end up doing any more. It's all still set up, all still ready to go, so we're going to jump right back in where we were, doing up the bolts on the manifold, putting that back together, and yeah, putting it back together. You still can't see my face, but it's either you see my face or you see what I'm doing, and I'm guessing what I'm doing is a little bit more interesting than looking at my face, so we're going to focus on that. I think the last thing we left off on was checking the torque spec rating, and I still don't know what they actually are. So basically I couldn't find a torque spec setting, and one of the forums that I found said that because it's a rubber gasket and it's so thick that this one doesn't particularly matter, so that they're all, so long as they're all firm and all reasonably tight. So I'm tightening them up a reasonable amount. And fingers crossed that's good enough. Chuck on or clean that, and then chuck on that part, and then I think that'll be it. What I'm sort of aiming for is to get this done, have it in the boot of the 32 and a side ready to go on the engine, but it won't actually go on the engine yet. Reason being, there's work that needs to happen to the engine first. Yep, they're too long. Well, it's not the prettiest solution, but it's a solution nonetheless. See how we go. People are going to be able to spot this a mile away at car meets. And I'm fine with that. Because they're not going to be able to see it when I'm sideways around the bend. Yep. That'll do it. Now these I can almost guarantee have this torque rating that we're going to ignore. And that leaves us with a fully complete RB25DET turbo intake manifold with turbo injectors, this weird ass thingy that I don't really think is going to affect it. I don't know if that sensor's going to have to be changed, but it's a pretty thing to do, pretty easy thing to do later on. Like I said, I don't think it's actually going to have to be changed. And that's it for that one. This will basically be sat aside, like I was saying before, in probably the boot of the 32 while I do up the engine. I just have to run the feed and the return, and obviously the coolant feed and return as well, but they're already there, so it's just a matter of running those lines once the turbo is actually on it. Anyway guys, that brings us to the end of this week's video. I know it was just doing the intake manifold, but realistically with the amount of time I have to work on this car, a day a week, it's not too good, and I do have work today, so I've got to go in and get cleaned up and get ready for that. Hope you guys have enjoyed this week's video. If you have, leave a like, a comment down below, tell me what you think. If there's anything I missed that you spotted, let me know. If you think that this is going to be an awesome thing to spot a car meets and give me shit about, then leave it in the comments down below, because I'd love to hear about it. And if you haven't done already, hit that subscribe button and help me on my journey to be able to quit my job and, and do YouTube full time, because that'd be fucking sick. Yeah. Right, guys. Well, I'll catch you in the next one, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.